You can help families impacted by the California wildfires. Visit go.fox/Red Cross, where you can scan the QR code on your screen. Your donation enables the Red Cross to respond to and help people recover from this disaster. So if you can donate, please do.
Do you remember when I said that to you on our first show?
What?
Bigger risk, because you've never been on TV before.
I've been on the sidelines.
And now you're a national treasure.
Yeah, whiz.
That was unbelievable.
This whole press, we could have chosen 30 different quotes from this press conference.
I never say this. Everyone should take time out of their day and watch the first. Jerry has asked a question, I think is it Clarence Hill who asked him? I forget who he says. I forget whoever it was. Why'd you choose Brian Schottenheimer? And his answer is 8 minutes long. And, I mean, he references, you were waiting for someone to, like, take the microphone. It was bizarre. It was a bizarre press conference.
All right, so a lot to react to there, bro.
It's the same old, same old. That's all this is. And you guys listen to the press conference. He was going on and on about Brian Schottenheimer's deference to head coaches he's been around.
That was so weird.
Everything was deferent. He's deferred to coach. He's deferred. And this is not even against Brian Schottenheimer.
Correct.
But one of the things Jerry wants, and maybe the key thing he wanted from Schottenheimer or his next coach, was deference. So Schottenheimer's not going to have any problem with Jerry holding court outside of the locker room after the game, Jerry being the face of the franchise. It's the same old, same old. And Dak was there and some other players, and that's a great vote of support by Dak to be there. He's cheesing from ear to ear because he knows nothing's changing. This is the guy I've been working with this year. Nothing's going to change, all right? And so he'll be comfortable, but that's the problem. Nothing is going to change. It's going to be the same old thing. Mike McCarthy's not a terrible coach, not a bad coach. Schottenheimer, at best, will be a lot of what you've already gotten with Schottenheimer. And this was risk. Every coaching hire is a risk. If they had hired Ben Johnson, it'd have been a risk because he's never been a head coach either. But the risk would have been to go get Deion Sanders, not from a football perspective, but from a perspective of he's going to come in and change the culture. He's going to come in and be the face of the franchise. This is going to be a whole different thing than it's been for the last 30 years here. This was safe, and it's going to be a lot more of the same. And they're going to struggle. I'm not making my pick yet, but in that division, Philadelphia, unless they're completely knocked over by a Super Bowl slump if they lose, Washington's going to be there. You got the NFC North still going to be there. You're going to get at least 2 teams. You're not getting 3 out of the NFC East. And so they're going to struggle to make the playoffs. I'm saying that right now.
Yeah. Look, it's Jerry Jones. Like, we know all about what he's really looking to do, which is remain in control. His son ended up talking about evaluating, Mike and the offense and different things. And all I could think about is the reason why they're struggling and they can't get over the hump is because there's nobody to evaluate the evaluator. And that's when you're unwilling to be evaluated, what you're saying is, I have the answer, I am the answer. And so I can tell you what we need. Like, he truly believes he's not making it about him.
That Jerry's not making this
when
about.
He says, not trying to make it about me, it's not about me, it
was the entire thing was about him.
It was about you, Jerry. Like, your whole entire press conference, the fact that you just mentioned for America to watch this because he goes on this rant.
Talks about his position coaches at Arkansas. Talks about how every time he talked about he's 35 years, he's been to every combine but one, every Senior Bowl but one, and then he meandered into these meetings he has with coaches. He's like, they might not be interviews, but they're all interviews. He was like, I'm always thinking, could you coach the Cowboys one day? And I know deep down they're all thinking I might coach the Cowboys one day. It was beyond bizarre. And I feel terribly for Brian Schottenheimer. Because, listen, on a personal level, he's a Kansas City kid, actually. Not born there, went to high school there, won, I think, a state championship there. Because his dad, Marty Schottenheimer, coached my team my whole childhood. You know what I mean? And is probably the best coach ever to not make a Super Bowl, has since passed away. But all of this thing was pure Jerry Jones feel and vibes. He kept talking about, I believe in coaching osmosis and how he's learned from his father.
Yeah.
He called Brian, he said Brian Schottenheimer is 50 years old, which is just a pup. And which the shout out to
I wrote with that. That's one thing Jerry said I agree with.
And so I'm not saying this guy's not going to be good. What I am saying is, whenever you hire someone for a job that no one else in your industry is considering them for, it is, you are going outside of the box. I also wrote
maybe
down.
Maybe it was right. Maybe it is a little risky.
No, I do think it is risky. I don't disagree with that point. But I wrote down, I showed Greg when you said it, have deference. Because it was such a truly bizarre thing to hammer home the point of, he's like, I have seen this man, bite his tongue and defer to head coaches even when he disagrees.
Like he should have.
And and I'm watching that and I'm like, I don't actually even know if that's a good trait.
Exactly.
I don't even know if that is a quality trait.
Right.
But so I felt all those things. And again, he might end up being excellent. We don't know. What I do know is this. It is unfathomable to me that this decision gives the Cowboys a better chance of getting to a Super Bowl or ending the, as Steven put it, drought. And he used quotes, even though it's been 29 years and the second longest in the conference is 14 since a conference championship game. I don't know how this gets them closer than Belichick. And now we know they could have had him. That's the part I don't get. That's the part that is truly bizarre to me. It's when it was like, oh, the Cowboys don't want Belichick, then it did seem like, I guess you guys are right. They're going to, not you guys, but people are right. They're going to bring back Mike McCarthy. Or they have a big plan with Kellen Moore or something. I just feel, if I'm a Cowboys fan right now, I feel like, man, our entire franchise is at service to the whims of the owner in a way no other franchise in sports right now seems to be.
They're a mom and pop shop. Everybody they interviewed, I believe, Jason Witten, Kellen Moore, they're part of the Cowboys family. Yeah. Now, Deion was too, kind of, but...
Yeah, Pete Carroll. I don't know
they
how
talked
real
to Carroll. They didn't...
I couldn't tell if the Carroll thing was a leverage play against the Raiders or not.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.